attempted a lot of great stuff. And of course, one of the great things he attempted has now gone over the roof, and we are all excited about him today. The guy who has changed Ghana's dance narrative. I'm talking about the guy behind the Dance with Purpose Academy, DWP. This guy has done impressive. I mean, in this same Ghana where everybody say, yeah, Charlie, I for left. Somebody is here and is cooking. And he has cooked over time. And now you can see that he deserves the benefits there is, he deserves all the goodies that it's a scrum with. You want to subscribe to this podcast wherever you consume it, on YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcasts. And to our Joy News viewers, please share the link with a friend. I know you're going to love this guy. I'll mention his name right after this break. Welcome back to Talk, No the Cook Rice podcast. As you know, we don't even spend time talking. Quabbles, Charlie, welcome to Talk, No the Cook Rice podcast.
Thank you for having me, bro.
I am so, anytime I sit down with founders, I don't know, it's a big deal to me. Or people who have, people who have done stuff that have brought in very good results. It's a big deal to me. And even before the podcast even commences, the conversation starts, I just want to say that I have high regards for you. And for me, I think if you are, I mean, just like how there are a lot of stars in the world, you are one of the very bright ones, because you've done something that nobody has done. And not to say that you were the only person who could have done it. Of course, the idea was there. A lot of people didn't do much about it. But to see you transform the dance narrative. Growing up, nobody wanted to. Nobody would say, when I grew up, I want to be a dancer.
At all.
And through your hard work and your academy and what you've done over time, now I'm sure parents want their kids to
A lot has changed.
Wow.
A lot has changed. Parents, before I came here, I've got like close to 20 or 30 calls.
Wow.
From a lot of kids. I don't know how they get my contact though. Because there's a business number. But they find a way to get my contact, and everybody's saying, I want to join DWP. I want to be part of DWP every day. And I don't know, this is where we wanted to get to, and we want to, go further. But I really don't know, how this narrative has changed, a lot of parents especially, because behavioral change, right? It takes a while. Like when you're dancing, they're thinking that you're a street person. They think it's for school dropouts. They think it is not something that can be a profession. And that has been our mentality over time, So for parents to change that perception and now wanting their children to learn how to dance or, even associate, it's crazy. My parents didn't want me to do this.
Wow.
So it's really, really, it's mind blowing for me myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like this. I like how, we've not even gotten into the nitty gritty, but I just like how the conversation is picking off. So, and in this podcast, we like to know how everybody started. Charlie, when you were growing up, professional week, everybody, I want to be a pilot. At a point, I wanted to be an astronaut. I wanted to be the first man to go on the sun. I don't know what I was thinking, and all of that. Were you like, when I grow up, I want to go to the dance academy, Growing up, run us through your background, which school you went to and all of that. And how did you end up here, basically?
I wanted to be a pilot.
Pilot? Really? What do you like about pilot?
I don't know. I'm talking about, you're talking about, when you were very young, you have dreams of becoming either a doctor, a pilot, or a lawyer. Those are the professions that, but as time went on, I'm probably going to start from high school, right?
Hit me.
In high school, so I'm the kind of person that likes to, learn and involve myself in so many things. People will be surprised to hear this, but I used to sing.
Oh, more. Really?
Yeah, I was in the preset choir.
You're serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
What part were you singing?
Alto.
Jeez, Charlie, go give me something.
No, I beg you.
Charlie.
Yeah, so I used to say, I joined the preset choir.
Wow.
I used to be in the cadet. So I learned, some form of discipline over there. I used to be a supervisor, a dining hall supervisor. So if people know me from preset, they will tell you I was wicked.
Wow.
Not like I was wicked, but I was just like,
high school,
just don't do the wrong thing.
Yeah.
So it's just me finding myself in, so many situations that I learned a lot from. And from high school. So high school, I was a very quiet person, but high school I became more vocal because I had to be in certain positions and everything. Then, we went to university. In university,
University, where which school is?
I went to KNUST.
Oh, why you Lego?
KNUST is the best.
You're serious? It's okay.
Serious.
I mean, it's okay. You're not here to.
So I went to I studied BA Publishing Studies.
Wow.
And I was studying so many things, econ, statistics, all of that. But there was a part of me that was very fascinated about, brands and, how, they communicate.
Wow.
They put out their communication. I was very interested in that. And so I started, Googling, how some of these things happen. I realized there was advertising agencies that, usually handle these brands, commercials and everything. So I started following advertising agencies and everything. I started learning on YouTube. So I was very fascinated about the advertising space. I was 18 at the time.
Wow.
18, I just got 18. I said, okay, I told my mom I want to register a company. So my first company I ever registered was called Headlines.
Yep.
Headlines was an advertising agency. So what it means is we're going to make you make the headlines.
Wow.
At 18.
At 18?
Yeah, at 18.
I'm sorry to cut you. One of the things that fascinates me is how certain people get to start certain things when at a very young age.
Yeah.
At 18, and I'm in this 18. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking of, maybe I had a few plans. I mean, at 18, that's when I wrote that I'm going to be a podcast host.
Yeah.
And funny enough, it took about more than 6 years. Well, 2024. It helped me with the math. 8 years also.
Yeah.
Or 8?
24.
6 years.
How many? What year did you say?
I completed Lego in 2020, but I wrote it in 2016.
2016. That's 8 years.
8 years, 8 years. It's taking me about 8 years to now.
So actually do, yeah.
One of the things that fascinates me is that how is it that at 18-year-old, at 18,
you had that thought
about owning a business?
Yeah.
Where is it from? Where is it from?
I think it's from maybe family and my background. So my dad always, he's one of those people that wants you to either be first or second.
Wow.
But first or second, some people that's their sport. But that Charlie, no matter how
what's the normal sport?
Average,
Charlie.
No matter how hard I try, I was not getting there. So it was always pushing me to want to do more. It's like I want to let them know that I can make it. Also, because I love starting things. I was always thinking, what will people remember me for? I don't know why I was thinking about that at that young age. So I wanted to create something. So because I loved that, so I watched a podcast. I was watching a lot of podcasts and at 18. Yes, at 18. And
man, you started too early. Bro.
I know, right?
Man,
and then I watched. So somebody said that, whatever you do, I want to remember is that there's that statement.
Yeah.
Whatever you do in your 24 hours, you should turn it. Whatever you do the most out of the 24 hours, you should turn it into a business.
Wow.
So then, because I found myself, researching about this advertising and all of that, I'm like, okay, then let me turn it into a business then, so that's how it all started. And I'm not even using that now, but I know I'm going to get back to it. So then from there, I became very good at this thing. I started, freelancing to work for certain big brands. I don't want to mention their names. When I finished college, right? If I finished college on Friday, I started working on a Monday. I was poached by some agency to come and work.
Wow.
Yeah, so I never had...
You started big.
I never had that break where people go and sit at home. No, I finished Friday, started working on Monday.
Wow.
Way before national service started. But I've even jumped the story. I was kind of popular in college.
Yeah. You were a model at a point.
Yeah, I was a model at a point.
Charlie, when you're fresh, we can collaborate.
Charlie, small. Something small. So yeah, I was an ambassador for MTN Pulse. When they started, I was in a couple of commercials and everything. And I don't know how I got that much following. This is 2014. I had about 100,000 followers, wow. Which was like the average. You didn't have a lot of people that had, that number of followers online, So a lot of brands were, trying to use me and everything. I finished school, was working in different advertising agencies, was learning, I've been telling my dancers recently that sometimes I feel like my creativity has reduced.
Wow.
Because when I was in the advertising space, listen, every day I'm trying to come up with something. Like when we go to brainstorms, it's like you have to be the smartest person in the brainstorm because there's a lot of creative people, in that space. People don't know this thing about me. They think I'm just managing dancers. But I come from like a very creative, background.
Wow.
Let me not see everything. Let's say, I just hope you ask me things about
Yeah. I mean, I like the vulnerability and the sincerity that you're already pouring at the beginning of the podcast. Guys, if you just joined us, we're talking to, people don't even know your full name.
Ernest. So my name is Ernest Kwabla.
Ernest
Kwabla.
How's a Kwabla spell?
Kwablah.
And I was a son here anything.
Somebody gave me the name Kwabos.
You're serious?
Yeah.
High school, GH as well?
High school.
Wow.
So he was trying to pronounce, in high school when they want to share work.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, in the morning at 6 a.m., everybody form a queue and you take the toilet, you take this. So, he was trying to pronounce, I wasn't paying attention. He was trying to pronounce my name. And then he said, instead of Kwabla, he said Kwabos, right? And we were all new. So everybody thought that was my name. So people just started calling me Kwabos. And I just,
I think it's a cool name.
Yeah, and I turned it into a brand.
Great. Yeah, we're talking to Kwabos, the guy who was one of the the trinity of the founders of
DWP.
Dance with Purpose Academy. And of course, I'm sure on your feed on Instagram, TikTok, you can all scroll a day. If you scroll for 30 minutes, you'll find a dance video. I can promise you that
100%.
Some of the moves you're seeing in there, they are the originators of it. I mean, they have made it so fun and so funky that everybody now wants to dance, And there's this thing about how some people naturally start things and it works. Some people don't have that drive. Some people are not starters, Lately, when I hear people critiquing some people, blasting, going hard at them, I'm like, what have you started in this? You've not started anything.
Yeah.
If you started something, you know that it takes a certain kind of effort. You've started a lot of things from the headlines and now you're doing so much.
Yeah.
Now you have a clothing line.
Yeah, it's a clothing line. I've been doing it since.
You're serious?
Yeah, I started, there was this clothing line that I used to do with my boys from Presec. It's called BRB.
Wow.
Building a Dream. Boys are bad. BRB Nation. So the bad means building a dream.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was very big. It was really big at the time. Everybody at the time saw it as the coolest. It's like the way FTY is now.
Yeah.
That's how it was.
Wow.
But when you're doing this with your boys, I don't know, everybody was, trying to do their own thing and then, it just went down. And I did visual arts in high school.
Wow.
So t-shirt printing was something that was part of me.
Wow.
But I kind of put those things on a hold and later came back to it. So it's anybody that want to start something, just do it. Even if you stop, you can always go back to it. So I just went back to one of my old loves.
That's cool. And aside printing shirts, now aside managing dancers, you're managing new artists.
Yeah.
I'm like, boy, we're all and that whole hunger.
Yeah.
You mentioned that, of course, your dad is not the type that will take a lower grade in school.
Yeah.
And so, but then again, you're not from a poor home. Most time when we see people trying to fight so hard, it's like, Charlie, but you are coming from quite a comfortable place.
Yeah.
I mean, to even mention that you had 100,000 for it. What it tells us that you've had good phones over time. We had to use HTC, Infinix, From a very good background, why are you chasing after?
So even though I'm from a very good background, I'll say I'm an okay background. You still have to work hard for whatever you have. Nothing was given to me on a silver platter. Listen, I'm going to say this, like my very first car, my dad told me that I don't need a car at this time. I was like, no, the movement is, so I had to save to buy, my very first car, so he's going to make you learn the hard way. He's not going to hand it over to you on a silver platter. So it's even though I was from an okay background, I had to work hard to get to this point.
Great.
Yeah.
One of the things with starters is that, and especially you that I've always started great stuff, almost as though your beginning started great. I mean, MTN Pulse, Ambassador. I'm sure you're dealing with.
I did Kids Cards. I was ambassador for Kids Cards.
Man, so no more free Kid Cards. Yeah. No more. What he also means is that you would have you would have attempted some things that didn't work out.
Yeah.
Lots of people see CEOs, entrepreneurs and go like, oh, Charlie, we're in tombs. No. When you read when you check the background, you realize that this person tried a lot of things, failed at it, and apparently chanced on one or bumped into one that realized that went like, hey, this one seems to. Before DWP, ran us through a number of things you failed at, a number of things you started that didn't really become DWP, and how DWP, of course, evolved eventually.
Okay, so I won't say I failed at it. I'll say that, okay, maybe things didn't go as planned. For instance,
I like your mindset. Why wouldn't you say failed?
Because I can always go back to it.
Wow. That's a good mindset.
Yeah.
I like that.
I can always go back to it. Once I have life, I can always go back to it. So with headlines, for instance, starting that at a young age, I didn't have the expertise. I just learned one or two on YouTube. I think I can start a company.
Wow.
And also because I wanted to learn more, I was working in different advertising agencies, and that's like a conflict of interest. So I cannot even put my company out there, So that kind of made it difficult to even run or push my own, company. And it's because my mom actually literally like followed me and said, okay, I'm going to help you register this company. It's like, she feels like I've disappointed her because that was my dream. She, when I started managing the dancer, she's like, what's wrong with you? What's going on? This is your dream. They said, this is something that you said you love doing or you want to do. Now you're out here following these people, So it wasn't easy for me, and I had to put on hold, and right now it's still on hold. The clothing line as well, people, like, let's say you spend a lot on, production, and people don't even want, if you add a little bit to it, people still don't want to pay that amount. They want to pay, even less than how much you spent on production, So I was also running at a loss when it came to that.
Wow.
So I had to put that also on a hold. So then now I had to stick to, the 8 to 5, where I know that, okay, I have a secured income. That one, you're safe.
Yeah.
So that's what, I was doing at the time, at a point in time. But I wasn't so happy. I wasn't happy in my heart. I still felt like if I pass, if I'm not I'm no more, people will not remember me for nothing. But
why do you want to remain relevant?
I don't know. It's I don't know. Growing up, there's a part I skipped. So when I was very young, right, I used to feel very inferior to other people. When I was in primary and all of that. I don't know where that came from.
Was it academically related?
No. Okay, so I grew up with my grandmother.
Okay.
I grew up with my grandmother, and my grandmother had a shop where my school was. So I used to help my grandmother sell.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll come and sit with her and sell at the shop and everything. And when they close from school, their kids pass their shop. So I'm the same person selling to them at the shop. So they kind of made me feel very inferior when I was, kids, how, and I don't blame them. We were children. So that's how they made me feel, though. They'll probably come to school and, those kids that had DSTV in school and everything, they'll be mentioning this and that. And
you can't relate.
I can't relate.
Charlie.
And they'll be laughing at you and everything. So as a child, it made me very quiet. I will not talk. When I come to school, I come and learn and I go. So because that was my beginning, right? I wanted to be important in some form of way, you know. Sometimes when people feel like that, they can live with it forever. But I found a way to break out from that. Wow. You know, when I went to high school, we are all new. It's like everybody's coming from a different place, so you don't, you know. Yeah, so I had to. That's how I felt. I wanted to break out from that and be relevant in some form of way. I didn't want to prove a point, but I wanted to be important to somebody, or you know. So it moved from that to, you know, wanting to, like, you know, be remembered for something little. It doesn't matter what it is.
I don't know, but I really like the integrity and you going all the way to tell us about it. I mean, we also didn't grow up. In fact, the house we're living in was uncompleted at the time. We're living in, it was a 3-bedroom. And so we're all living in one. My mom, my brother, my sister. And I mean, I was sharing with a couple of friends that, and the area we're living in, Olebu, Ablekuma, is a very, you know, it was very undeveloped at the time. Yeah. And you live with your siblings and the chamber pot is in that same room, you know? And so you're sleeping at night, you hear, you know, and all of that. And we didn't have TV, you know? So I remember those days, if you wanted to watch TV, you had to go to a neighbor's house, you squat on the floor, you know, you couldn't feel, you know? So it really did something to us. And so thank you for bringing back that memory of, you know, starting very humble and as you said something which is very true. A lot of people accept it. A lot of people who have the mindset are, oh, bro, you be oh, it's okay. It's just Gary who manage, you know. But of course, there are also people above that curve who feel that no. Today, the Naibedi Gary, you know, man. Yeah, you know. So I like that mindset and thank you for that vulnerability. Guys, I can tell you that this conversation will shift your mindset. Like, I promise you, this shouldn't be the conversation where you are listening and you are doing something else. Give full attention to it. And I myself, I'm approaching this conversation with a push of humility because, I mean, I have not achieved what Quabos has achieved. He's done a lot for the country. He's done a lot for a lot of very impressive dancers. You get to hear that stories pretty shortly. But thanks for that. Then again, people see a guy who is doing well. People see somebody, you know, we have this certain mindset that, oh, this thing he did do, I go feed do him. And I like the certain quotes that if it be easy, do him. You know, we all tend to feel that, oh, you can do it. You all tend to feel that, oh, that's no, you're lucky. Now will be a new one on over here in the fire. There wasn't any unique anything about it. Beyond what people do not see, tell us about the hard work that goes into running a very successful dance academy like DWP. I have a very small podcast, but even with if you take my notes, you go to Nana, things I am fans I'm raising, all the things I'm doing, and this is just almost like a solo production. And to talk of you that you have destinies, so people's children, run us through the hard work behind it. What do you do that makes you an exceptional leader? Because what people don't know is that when you see the only reason why a certain company is doing well is because they have very gifted people who have added so much. But the only reason why Apple is the number one tech company is because they have the best of tech guys. You know? And so if DWP is doing well, we cannot just attribute it to Zomizo. So it's not just that. There's a lot of things in the background, leadership stuff we don't see. Run me through it, Charlie.
I'll say it all started from how I managed, you know, Dance God. You know, we're coming from a place where nobody, you know, respected dance or even wanted to pay you for that. So a lot of groundwork had to be done, you know, in terms of how you talk as a dancer or as a talented person, or so how you dress, you know. Now, because people were not willing to pay us, we had to find, you know, ways of making money. You know, at the time there was YouTube. So YouTube, you can monetize it. So we said, okay, let's, you know, try and get some content and put on YouTube. Let's, you know, position ourselves on IG this way. Let's not post videos in this way. Let's post videos in this way. The way we post videos now, we've realized that a lot of people do that now and they are becoming successful at it. It was a secret that nobody had. Wow. We realized that, you know, people used to edit videos like music videos. How they do the glitch and all of those things, right?
Yeah.
And the social media platform, there's not a human being sitting behind it saying, okay, let this video get most views and this one. There's not a human being. It's a software.
Yeah.
So you have to learn how the platform works and do what will make your content do well. And what I learned because I was working advertising and I was managing some of these brands, I realized that the organic content did well better. So for a long time, when we started way back in 2016, we posted the videos without doing all of those editing.
Wow.
We didn't even, sometimes we don't even put a song on it. If the song is playing in the background and we're dancing, we post it just as it is. Because then then it doesn't even make the video heavy. When it's probably 4K and all of that, it's hard for people to view, right? So somebody is watching the video, it's not loading, this scroll. But when you post it just as it is, the size is very low.
Wow.
And the platform probably feels like, let's push this video more. Or, let's say in the first few minutes, the number of people that like the video, the software thing sees that, oh, this content is good. Let's show it to more people. So it was like day to day learning the platforms and knowing what to do to be able, because you need to get the audience to see your talent. You can be the most talented person or the most gifted person. If people don't see you or hear you, you are not going to get anywhere. So we had to get the audience. And now once we got the audience, then we started editing our videos. Because you already have, like for instance, we have some of our talents have 10 million followers. If she posts even with all of that editing, she'll still get the views. So we had to do that from the basis. So I had to teach him, do this, do that. I feel like I'm deviating from the question.
No. I think all I'm just asking is, and you're actually on track. The structure, what we don't see behind, all we see is zombie. But so that's like literally basically studying the platforms and teaching the dancers that, okay, you're better at doing it this way or doing it that way. Every day is a learning process. Also another thing that I think that makes us stand out, the fact that we were intentional about, even the kind of songs we dance to and how we show up on stage, because it's like our portfolio. When we come on stage or put any content, that's our portfolio. That's what will probably get us the next job. So we cannot come looking, shady or looking not prepared. It's like, when you're going to apply for a job, you take your CV, right? Yeah. Our CV is our social media. Wow.
So we make sure that the costume and everything is on point. There's a costume department in DWP. The dancers,
costume department.
Yes, the dancers play roles. There's people that are in charge of costume. There's people that are in charge of accounts. There's people that is in charge of stage performance. So aside knowing them to be very popular, they are playing roles in a company. I could employ people to do all of these things, but I felt like it's better off to let the dancer themselves play that role in the company, So there's that structure where everybody is playing a role: accounts, costume, stage performance, music. So there's two people that are in charge of, the kind of songs that we dance to.
So what, they are always looking for new songs?
No, but before we do a performance, so they put the songs together, look for new songs.
So like DJ sort of.
Yeah, DJ sort of, but they are not.
They mix it,
okay. So they're able to do the mix. Let me shout it out. He's called Real Cash.
Real Cash
is the main person.
Charlie Real Cash. Charlie.
It is for there.
Solid.
And he's been doing that for 5 years.
Wow.
For the team. So anytime we go and do any performance anywhere, he's in charge of, the sound and how, So the team, the structure is built around the dancers, and this is why everything runs very smoothly. We've been doing a lot of mentoring over the years, like psychologically, how to even deal with all of these fans. And, it's a lot that has been going on online.
Yeah.
There's a time that, they were bashing my dancers on Twitter, and the way they handled it, I was surprised myself, and I realized that we've actually done a good job, in psyching them, into how to deal with some of these things. And DWP has gone through, so many faces.
Wow.
And the way they've handled it, myself, I'm surprised.
Wow.
Yeah. There's a lot that goes on in the background, a lot.
I like that. And of course, I want to assume that because you were in an 8-to-5, you learned a little bit about organization, structure, so sort of influence you.
Yeah.
That's very good. I think then again, one of the big deals is that now you're working with celebrities.
Yeah.
And I'll be very honest with you. One of the, I'm quite close to some of the managers in Joy here. And one of the little problems we sort of have is when you take somebody who was not on TV, you put them on TV over some time. Of course, people watch them. They become household names.
Yes.
People like them. People don't even know you, the guy that's behind.
Yeah.
And they blossom. And so when they blossom, they become big boys.
Yeah.
Now they cut cues when they go places. People know them and all of that. And so sometimes there's a certain clash between management and some of even our presenters that, hey, the fact that you are a presenter does not, you are popular. So what? To the back, we are in charge and all of that. And I think this is you are dealing with celebrities.
Yeah.
These guys are, celebrities.
Yeah.
I have very tiny following. Yeah. Yesterday, I spent the night watching through Endurance's videos. I'm like, hey, these guys are there. Sheesh, impressive. Is there a way you deal with, because then again, of course, you can't treat them as you met them or as you discovered. They are not those small kids
they are
anymore.
not,
Now they are big guys. Yeah. They have following. People, their word may mean a lot more to their fans, even more than the guy behind the scene.
Yeah.
How do you, I feel that you are working with a crate of egg and all of these people are special. How do you handle all of them?
So I have been very intentional to let them know that they are family. So that, you don't, from the beginning, we made them know that it's like a tree, right? When this branch is bearing fruit, it transcends to another branch, so everybody is helping everybody. Even when it comes to payment, when we go and do a performance, it doesn't mean that, okay, this person is the most popular or this was the most popular. If it's 30 people and we are paid 1,000 cedis, all the 30 people have to be paid.
Wow.
You understand? So it's such that, everybody is helping everybody. You don't want to have to be the only person that's, growing. So they've come to understand that they're a family. Nobody sees themselves as bigger than another person. You can have 10 million followers, somebody has 100,000 followers. You cannot, that's the structure over there. Wow. Nobody feels inferior or nobody feels bigger than, another. Now, very true. How I met them is not how they are now.
Yeah.
So I'm very particular about how I deal with them. First, if you have to go for an interview, I'll tell you have to go for an interview. But now I have to ask them, are you available? Because the person has got responsibilities now. They probably went for a show yesterday. They don't want to talk today.
Wow.
So dealing with talent, you have to evolve with the talent. You cannot continue seeing them as they are. I'm starting a new business with Endurance, so we are going to be partners, in something. Because she's growing.
Yeah.
You understand? When we are not talent manager anymore, we'll become business partners.
Okay.
So yes, I have to definitely evolve, with the talent. And the more they get popular, the more, I'm particular about how I deal with the same thing. Now I have to, align with them. In as much as there's times where I'm like, no, it has to be this way. Because you have to stand your ground. Yeah. Like, it doesn't matter whether you're popular or that one. I don't see I know you're popular, but I'm not going to deal with you because of how popular you are. If you have to do it this way, it has to be this way. But I'm also going to hear your point of view, and then we see how to find a middle ground.
Wow. Yeah. I think you're a very wise guy. You're a very wise guy. Then, of course, on the other side, now, of course, they are, as we met before, agreed. We can't treat them as they were.
Yeah.
But then again, you're a leader. Sometimes you have to use veto power. Sometimes you have to go a little bit ballistic.
Yeah.
When we were growing up, our mom could insult us in front of our siblings and all of that. But now if our mom tell you like, yeah, bro, we gonna vex, man. So how do you approach dealing with uncomfortable situations?
Yeah.
A situation where maybe somebody didn't do something right, and you have to call them out. And also because I'll come to the fact that why are you even running it as a family and not a transaction?
Yeah.
But this time around, somebody does something bad and you don't want it to become a culture. And sometimes one of the ways is to be firm, as you mentioned, stand your ground and maybe do an open rebuke. I like to delve into what people don't see because we all tend to think it's lovely, dovely flowers and all of that. How do you deal with bringing uncomfortable news and when somebody has to be given to, somebody has to be blasted? How do you deal with that? How do you go about that?
So I think there was even a situation where I think Champion really had done something wrong, right? And he was with the fans, and what he was doing I didn't like. I could have told him there and there, but I didn't want to tell him because the fans were there. So I made him do everything. And then later on, I had a conversation with him because if I did it there, he'll feel some type of way because I did it for the fans. So I'm very particular about where we are and how I deal with it. There was, when Afonita used to be in the academy, right? They used to think that she was, my favorite.
Yeah.
I don't have a favorite. She was my favorite, or she's pampered and everything, but that wasn't the case. So if she does wrong, I'll punish her more than I'll punish another. Because if this is their thought, then I'll let them know that no, if this person does wrong, So there's times where some people are suspended.
Wow.
There was one time I think it was even her fans were very angry and everything because they realized that she wasn't part of a couple of performances.
Wow.
You can be the most popular, but if you do wrong and you're suspended, you're not part of performance. You're not part of this. You're not part of that. So that's how we instill discipline.
Why discipline? Why not allow free flow?
No, because I feel like discipline. Because we're disciplined, that's why we have gotten to where we are today. You cannot tolerate just anything. Especially because they're growing and they're becoming superstars. If I don't instill discipline or I'm not strict on this and that, this is like 20 people that are very popular. Like dealing with one popular person is very hard. Yeah. So if I don't stand my grounds and say, okay, this or that, I think that everybody will just leave.
Wow.
Or, there's going to be a lot of chaos. So yes, there's times where people are suspended. There's times where, so there's different forms of punishment, that you probably,
I like that. I like what is happening. I like all you're telling me. Of course, let's get into now dance is doing more than, you are the vision bearer, so maybe you could have predicted that dance was going to change the music industry. All that we knew dancers to do was when the artist is singing, there maybe somebody's dancing in their back or something, But it's now swapped to a point where now dance used to be initially used to be a subsidiary. It wasn't the main thing. Yeah. But now artists do a song.
And then they have to have a dance to it.
Yeah, because now TikTok is flying. And so do you think that it was something you bumped into? Or it was a calculated effort of, let's build this to a point?
So it was calculated. Because I was an influencer or popular back then, there was, when I started with Dance God and we decided to start DWP, I started with Dance God and Afrobeats. I feel like I've just...
Oh, yeah. Afrobeats, Charlie, you deserve your flowers.
Yeah. And we knew that, there's the three of us cannot be able to make this as big as we wanted it to be, and if they stop, they're going to grow. If they stop dancing one day, it's just going to, who is going to continue whatever we started? So we decided to start DWP. But myself, right, because I came from an advertising background, I knew that, influencer marketing was going to become a thing because I was one before. Wow. So if I had, let's say 10 or 20 people with an average of, 100,000 followers, that's 2 million.
Wow.
So I'll be able to sell these people to a brand and say, okay, I can reach 2 million people. You should work with me. So I remember I have screenshots of most of the talents where they had just 1,000 followers. I have all of the screenshots, and now they have millions of followers. So I was literally just looking for like the bare minimum of, having creatives that had, let's say, 50,000 followers or 100,000 followers. And with that, I'll have the power to be able to push somebody's song or have the power to be able to work with a brand, because they are looking for, it's about your value. What value are you bringing to them as a brand? So intentionally growing. So you know how you go to certain companies or there's certain groups, right? The group is the popular thing. It's not the individuals.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a group called Jabberwockies. People don't even know the individuals.
Wow.
They've had so many dancers that, but they don't know the individual. The group is popular. But we were intentional to grow the individuals. So you as a brand, Endurance, people know you.
Wow.
DMZ, people know you. Timeless, people know you. They knew each of them. And then they knew DWP. So it was intentional. And now we've been able to, like, if you put all of the audience together, it's going to be close to like a 50 million. That's probably just TikTok.
Yeah.
Because one person alone has like 10, So I knew we were going to have that influence, but I wasn't thinking 10 million, trust me. I wasn't thinking 10 million, 5 million, all of that. So yeah, it was intentional to be able to have that influence, and that influence is helping the entertainment industry now.
Wow. So back to why you are running it as a family and not a transaction.
Yeah.
Our average workspace, people go like, Charlie, I come to work, I come and work. When I close work, I leave work issues at work and all of that. It's fully transactional. And also because, why are you not running it as a family? And I'm asking this, why are you not running it as a transaction and rather using a family? And still in this family thing, you are also selling out the individual superstars, Why? Because isn't there a certain fear that this little candle light that we're keeping our hands around has now evolved to become a star? And a star is a bubbling sun. It's a whole sun on its own.
Yeah.
Isn't there a certain fear that this person is a ticking time bomb and very soon we may not have them again?
Yeah.
And so, I don't know, maybe I'm being too skeptical, but don't you feel that, why not make it a why not just make it the collective why are you doing it as an individual,
Yeah, so reason why I'm running as a family is because, there's times I'm not going to lie, over the years, there's times where I'm like, do I really want to do this? Because it's tiring, you can get annoyed. There's so many things where you can just focus on yourself and, work and make money for yourself. But, it's your life's being entangled with so many different people, and the same people that you're fighting for probably are giving you a hard time. But when you see people as family, you go beyond for them. I do anything for them. Like, let's say how I was popular back then.
Yeah.
Right. So I've experienced fame to some extent before. But now these people are sweating. I'm giving them, a towel to clean their face. I'm making sure that, the fans don't touch. I'm making sure they are comfortable. Even if I'll get up for them to sit down.
Wow.
Most of these people are way, way younger than me.
Yeah.
But I'll get up for them to sit down because, I see them as family. I don't see them as, a talent and I'm just managing you so that we make money out of this thing. I want you to do what genuinely from the bottom of my heart. So that's how I see. I see them as my little brothers and sisters, and I go out and beyond for them. Now, the other reason why we run it as a family is because, in a family, not everybody does well.
Okay.
You can have a sister that becomes a lawyer, and then you are trying everything, but it's not working. But that sister will hold you down. So they also see each other as family, regardless of whatever happens to anybody. So and then unfortunately, I've not been able to do that with two of my biggest superstars that left, right? Because I wish that if they had left and moved on to something else, we would have still been family. Do you understand? Wow. We would have still been family. When you're in the nuclear family, right? You live with your siblings and your parents. When you get married, you move and go to your own house. but that's still your family. You can always go back. You always meet, but unfortunately, that didn't happen with two of the people that left. So the family that we have left, we are making sure that, we see it as that. When you get to the point where you want to, move on or anything, still see it as your family. Never, depart from this family. There's so many people that are going to come join the family. And, the family never goes down.
Wow.
Yeah. But if it's transactional, right? Mm-hmm. And we don't see, they don't see each other as that, or they don't see me as their family, then, if your term is, let's say, 2 or 3 years, and 3 years goes, you leave and, you forget about me. I also forget about you. Yeah, So, yes, there's the business element in there, but we all see each other as family.
Wow. And I want to ask, this love that you have for these amazing people, there was a picture you posted not too long ago.
Yeah.
It's almost like a triangle.
Yeah.
It was taken from a high angle. So you have all of them. Lisa was here on the podcast.
Oh, no.
No, yeah, we spoke to her. So Lisa was here.
So is it out?
Well, no, it's not out. It's not out.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Lisa was in there and all of that. And if it really tells the family.
Yeah.
And where do you get this love to give? What's your source?
That's a very deep one. Where did I get the love? Well, I was brought up with love, right? But when I went, when I was in school, I wasn't getting the love at an early age. So you can imagine if I see somebody being looked down, and I hate it very, very much if somebody trying to bully somebody or somebody looks down on another. No matter how big you are or how much money you have, if I see you look down on another person, I detest it.
Wow.
So I just love to show love to everybody, regardless of who you are and where you come from. So I think I just genuinely love people.
Wow.
Yeah, I just genuinely love people. I cannot even explain why.
Wow. Yeah. Do you ever drive in town and maybe you see some of these kids dancing around?
Yeah, so
you're like that's my nest, that's my nest dancing or something.
Listen, it's a lot, because everybody is trying to tell me they are the best dancer. Everybody is trying to tell me manage me, and I cannot manage everybody. So sometimes it's very hard, to even witness that, or even somebody tell you, listen, I have the talent, I want to do this, but I cannot do it for everybody. I cannot do so now there's a structure. You have to go through audition. I don't want to just see you, or you just call me and tell me you want to do this, and then I just, decide to start managing you. You go through the auditions. I tell you, okay, there's going to be an audition in January or in February, so make sure you come for that. I can give you my contact, So, yeah, it happens a lot on the streets. Everybody is telling me that they should be my next, next dancer or next talent.
That's good. We'll get into all the other stuff.
Yeah.
But, one of the things that I also want to know is, how crazy is your work ethic? Of course, I know you are a co-founder, Afrobeats, that's impressive. Yeah. So I want to even know how the work is shared. It's like SHS, we have headmaster, then we have headmaster domestic.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I forgot the other type of headmasters there were, but academic.
Academics, yeah.
So it's like, because you are not a dancer, which is very, I don't want to say I dance, but, when I did what I did with Lisa Kwama, she says I can't dance. But she said that she didn't literally say I can't dance, but it's like there's hope for me.
There's hope.
She has to say
they've seen people that don't know how to dance at all. There's been hope.
But I think if you and I are put together, I'd be like, I go make that. Yeah. Maybe. So how is the work distributed?
Yeah.
And how do you, because of course, okay, you tell me how the work is distributed.
So like I was saying, like everybody plays a role. Afrobeats is the head choreographer.
Okay.
So he's a co-founder, but he's the head choreographer.
Okay.
Yeah. So he oversees, all of the choreographies and everything. There's a social media person. There's a project manager. So whatever project you are working on, the person is supposed to oversee and make sure that all of the elements are in place. There's a road manager. So when they have to go for performances and everything, there's somebody that's supposed to go with them. Yeah, so I oversee everything, and it's a daily. There's literally times where I'm calling them at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. because an idea has come to my mind. So let's talk about it now. I'm sharing it in the group so that when everybody wakes up, we can discuss. So it's a daily. There's no closing time.
Wow.
Where we let's say and after 9, no, at 2 a.m. I'll call you.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're working every day tirelessly because the industry we are in is not structured. There's no formula to it. So you have to every day find a way, to stay relevant and, to be able to stay on top of the game. Especially when you're on top. Everybody's going to chase you. Everybody's going to do what you are doing and try and even do it better. So how do you stay on top? Wow. That's our struggle right now. When we were climbing, it wasn't this difficult. But now that we're on top, we have to fight to keep, because there's a lot of people chasing us now.
Wow. So is there a certain fear that we must be relevant? Like the day we lose our relevance, we'll get overtaken. It's not necessarily a fear, but is there a certain mindset of, guys?
Yeah, so I have that. It's always at the back of my mind. The day that we stop being relevant, somebody might take. It used to be like Monopoly, right? Where there was nobody in this space trying to do this thing. So it was, if you think about dance, it had to be us. But there's a lot of people that are coming now. So there's competition, healthy competition. So we have to always have some value to give. Because if you don't have any value to give and somebody's offering better, then people would rather go with that person.
Oh.
Yeah. So we have to always stay relevant or have some value. If we don't have, I feel like if we don't have the way things are going, if you're not so relevant at a point, we will still be relevant.
Wow.
I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say.
Is it because of past records?
Yes. If we are not relevant, we'll still be relevant because you see, let's say they are not booking you for shows. If they're not booking you for shows, you have accumulated maybe 10 to 20 million followers on TikTok. That audience has transcended to YouTube, which is maybe you have 1 million or 2 million subscribers. Now maybe you're not a dancer anymore. You can start doing podcasts.
It makes sense.
Yeah. Maybe you're not a dancer anymore. You have this audience. You can start doing clothing. You can start your clothing line. You can start something.
Wow.
So we might not be relevant or at a point. It's not going to happen though.
Yeah.
But if just in case the worst happens, right, there's going to be something to fall back on. And that's how the team is being built.
Wow.
There's always going to be something to fall back on.
Great. I love that. Just because you mentioned that, of course, the competition thing, is there a time that maybe there was an event, a big event, you were aiming for it, and did you call you and they called and I'm like, yeah. Was that,
Has there ever been
how
that
did
time?
you feel,
Has there ever been that event? I think that at the point I am right now, right, if I'm not called for an event, I understand.
Because of how much you charge?
Yes.
They can't afford?
Yes.
Wow. I like that.
Yeah, if I'm not called for an event, I understand. You probably did, because it's not even like they've even had a conversation. There was a time that a certain brand, somebody at a brand called me and the person said, I've been trying to get my people to work with you, but they said you are difficult to work with. Like, which company is this? And they mentioned the company. And nobody has reached out to me.
Yeah.
And the person says that they said you are expensive. You have not even had a conversation with me. You understand? So, yes, if they don't call me, I feel like, okay, in their mind, they think that, okay, these people are going to be expensive or they're going to be difficult to work with. I don't think we are difficult. I think we know what we want and, you have to treat us as such.
Yeah.
If you're booking a music artist and you're going to create space for them to sit down and make them feel comfortable before the performance, you have to do the same for the dancers.
Like a van for you guys?
Yes, you have to take your transportation. If you're charging, we have to charge you for costume.
Wow.
You understand? If our DJ has to be there, we have to have a DJ there.
Wow.
Yeah. They are coming to give you a show because I'm not going to lie. It's not even about the dance that we come and do on the stage anymore. It's about the brands that are coming on the stage because these people literally show up on stage and the crowd goes crazy.
Yeah.
So that means that it's not a dance. It's the personalities that are coming on the stage. So you're paying for,
Wow.
It's like Michael Jackson performing and people are crying. Why is that? It's not because they have not heard the song before.
The person.
It's the person. So you're paying for the brands that are coming on the stage. So if you don't put me on that stage, it's either you probably cannot afford or you were looking for a cheaper option.
Wow. I like this, because it's not. I mean, this is not pride because it's more like we know the work we've put into this, and so we have a certain figure that I recently started directing commercials, and from there I've done 3, and I can tell you that we, no,
the price will go up, because bro, I've been doing this with the DWP 7 years, right?
Wow,
but I've been managing talents for like 10 years, and like there's been times where we've performed for free.
Charlie.
There's times where, what if I tell you, there's times where we've collected 1,000, 2,000 CDs for let's say 20 people.
Sheesh. What are you saying?
So there's times where we've come to a performance and there's no place for the dancers to be. They have to wait. And but we have grown past that.
Yeah.
We have evolved. We have built a solid brand up to this point. So when you reach out to us, you have to come to us correct. Like it's like for a long time we have been at the bottom of this entertainment space. Now we have proven to you that we have some value. We can make a song go viral. We can make a song go global. When we come on stage, we entertain the people. So treat us as such.
Wow. Yeah. Great. I like this. No, I'm really learning a lot from you. I am just starting something small now, and it's only wise that you get somebody who has done it before.
No, but I love your podcast though.
Really?
Yeah, I love your podcast. Bro. Yeah, so
man,
I've seen a couple of episodes. I'm like, I like this podcast.
Thanks.
That's why I'm here.
Wow. Yeah. For those who don't know, I like you to know that. Well, for all the other guests, we reach out. But for the first time, it's making us feel very special. I was telling the boys before.
Yeah, I saw it. I'm like, and I saw the plenty talk no the
talk no the cook rice.
And I was like, let's cook.
Yeah. So the text was, "Hi Derek, can we cook some rice?" I'm like, "Sheesh, I like the language, bro.
Let's cook some rice."
That's very good.
Yeah,
great. Then I like the fact that you've done all of these big things.
Yeah,
and it makes sense that the person who has started something has a likelihood to start another great thing.
Yeah.
Tell me about, of course, you were on a certain part of success with DWP. Then from nowhere, you were conquering stages in Ghana, then global citizen.
Yeah.
Am I wrong to assume that is your biggest?
Yeah, that's our biggest.
That's your biggest.
Yeah.
Run me through it. How did it come?
So global citizen with Asha. Afrobeast. Afrobeast, the head choreographer.
Yeah.
So Afrobeast was reached out to by one of the organizers, and they wanted us to perform on the show.
Wow.
So he told me, and then he gave me their contact. So I started dealing with them.
Okay.
And then they told us we were going to perform with Asha.
Pause it. How was the emotion? Something you started something small with Dance God and Afrobeast. Yeah. Of course, we had Afronita and all of these wonderful guys coming around. Yeah. Then from nowhere, Nana, Asha. How did you feel,
Yeah, I felt very good, because he's literally like one of the biggest global superstars that we know. And he's also a dancer. So it meant a lot for the dancers, It felt very, there's been a lot of special moments for me throughout this journey. There was Beyonce.
We did Black is King.
We did, we've been on CNN, we've been on BBC. Wow. This is years ago.
Wow.
So that means that like the world is seeing what we're doing and, we don't speak about it much. But trust me, like if you think about it, imagine all of these kids were not dancing. What would they be doing? Some of them will probably, be on the street. They'll find something to do, so it's been one highlight from one highlight to the other, right? And the Asha one was also another one. It was big for us, trust me. And he was like, there's videos, I don't know if you could put it there, but he was like, I have to do this with you guys again. Because he actually came to our studio to come and, learn and do the choreography with that. Afrobeast choreographed the performance. And it was amazing.
Wow.
He even came to the backstage to sing Jama with us. I don't know if you saw that video.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. He really like loved the performance. And I think that was the highlight of the Global Citizen Festival.
Wow. And, then again, you can sometimes be achieving so much. And I don't know, funny enough, there's something called imposter syndrome. And it doesn't happen to non-achievers. It's actually leaders who are crushing it that, or sometimes after all the successes that have been chalked, still feel that
you haven't gotten there.
Am I really doing something?
I can't lie. I feel like that all the time. You know how everybody thinks that, okay, we have done so well and everything. Sometimes I don't see, to be honest. Every day I wake up feeling like we haven't gotten anywhere. It's serious. And that haunts me, disturbs me because I'm always trying to like work. I'm always trying to do something, But I feel like we have done so much. And even the talents, I think that it has transcended to even the talents because they also don't think that they are big like that.
Wow.
I don't think Endurance knows what it means to have 10 million followers. She's grateful, but she doesn't think it's so big. I don't know how to explain it, but every day we wake up like wanting to do more, feeling like we have not, gotten there yet. So maybe that's what makes us stand out, makes us still stay relevant because we are always fighting, to be better.
Wow.
We always want to be better than the day before.
Wow. I like that.
Yeah.
I really like that. Of course, then again, you've done all of these wonderful things. Then you're on a very beautiful path. Then this whole dance god, I mean, I'm not interested in all the other, all of that happened. Do you
recently I met him.
I think I saw a video. You guys were somewhere. Yeah. Well, my audience will have to know. How was it?
So, that's my brother. Like, this is somebody that I could stay on the phone with and talk to for 5 hours. When I used to do 8 to 5, we could talk on my whole journey to work.
Wow.
So that's my brother. We have our differences now, but we should still see each other and, say hello to each other. Unfortunately, I don't like how things ended between us, but life goes on and I have to respect his decision and he also has to respect, mine. So we saw each other. He said hello, because I was on the stage before he came and he said hello to me. And they were like, he needs to teach the choreography. And they were like, we on the stage need to also join. I'm like, oh my God. What are you guys coming to me? Because and then I woke up the next day, I'm seeing a lot of videos on TikTok. I'm like, oh my God, why? So people were like, so Cowboys, you made us the third person in this life.
Yeah.
But we have our differences, but when it comes to work, we should be able to work. And when we see each other, we should be able to say hello to each other.
Wow. Yeah. Do you feel that, and of course, I have made a lot of mistakes in this life.
But I think I made a mistake.
What do you say?
You think I made a mistake?
No. So I'm coming. Do you think that when you look back on how the things, do you think it is one of the things that have marred the because funny enough, you came at your peak, do you feel that it's one of the things like, if this thing didn't happen, like, do you go back to it? Do you keep replaying it in your mind? Do you feel that,
Yes. I think that that was a big blow. And that's why I'm saying that we've been through a lot of, hard times. And that was a big blow, especially because they had two mentors, which was Afrobeats and Dance God. And, one of their mentors leaving, it literally almost broke the team, But we had to stand our grounds and, make sure that things don't go. So if you realize, the year that happened, in November, I traveled with everybody out of the country.
I think I saw.
Yeah, we went to Dubai. And it was intentional so that we could be together and stay together as a family.
Wow.
Maybe the dancers don't know.
Yeah.
But that trip was intentional so that we could stay together as a family. Because then when it's like, I know it happens even in churches. When there's a pastor, the pastor leaves, some of the congregation leave with the pastor. So how much more, a dance collective, people would have wanted to leave and follow, the other. So it was a big blow for us. If and I wish that I could have done things a little different, you know. Maybe had, you know, several conversations. I mean, we had conversations, you know, to try and resolve this, but maybe I could have done better. I think I could have done better. I always believe that there could have been a way, you know, but, you know, we live to learn. So I don't think I'll make the same mistakes I made with you know, him. Yeah.
Wow. And hey, I'm grateful. Thank you for this vulnerability and still deciding to speak about it on our podcast. We're grateful. There's something that bothers me. Now we are about ending the interview, so Charlie, we feel losing up. There's something that, not to say bothers me, but I don't know, dancers almost shot at your fool now, almost to win, sir.
Fool.
I don't know. It was so big. Why, you know, I think the question is, maybe I should take my time.
Yeah. Did you ask Lisa this?
What?
Did you ask Lisa?
Well, we went on the tangent of secular music.
Okay.
Dancing to what they call worldly music and all of that. So she gave her point of view. But I don't know. You know, dancers, maybe growing up, all the music videos I used to watch, all the dancers would come and twerk. They're very, you know, very wild stuff and all of that. And maybe because I work with Journeys, because Journeys, we don't show buttons and all this thing, you know. Joy Prime dancer, but we like, So, I don't know.
But we don't do that.
You don't do that? You don't show buttons?
No.
Okay, you don't.
And so you see, for even, I don't know if you realize, but for a long time now, we have not been doing a lot of music videos because that was the trajectory that music videos were going.
Wow.
You know, where the females have to come and dance and everything. We are dancing, like, we're not coming to come and shake, twerk or...
Why is it a big deal?
I think for me also, I felt like that was how people saw female dancers or how people saw dancers, like just come and twerk or show off and in the music video. And that's probably what people want to see. Like, I felt like people should also watch the video because they want to see creativity. They want to see, you know, the dance moves, or they want to see how even the dancer is looking. Because first, they don't even invest in costume for the dancers. But if I have to be in a music video, then there has to be a stylist and they have to look as good as the artist. Maybe not like the artist, but they have to look very good. You know, so we've not been doing a lot of music videos.
Yeah. I think Lisa even mentioned there was a certain, you know, she was like...
Yeah, we've not been a lot of music videos. And even with how my dancers dress, I think because of the kind of dance that we do, over the years, they've been dressed in a certain way. Some of them feel comfortable dressing, you know, wearing shorts, wearing trousers and everything. But the dance that we do, you cannot wear skirt and do it. Yeah. You understand? Yeah. Unless, you know, you cannot wear skirt and do some of the dance moves. So it's mostly, you're usually like, during rehearsals, you're literally living in sweatpants, jeans, and this one, because that's what they'll feel more comfortable. Yeah. You know, if they want to go to an award show, they can dress and look very feminine. Wow. The ones that don't feel comfortable dressing this way, they dress that way, you know. Yeah, so we don't intentionally do that to gain any form of clout or to, you know, get any kind of attention.
No, I think it's good. Yeah. I mean, I didn't even mean your collective, but it's just
general.
You know.
Yeah, and for some people it works for them, but I don't think that it would have worked for me.
Okay. Yeah. Then you have a certain strict policy of no dating here.
Yeah, no dating here.
Why?
Because I feel like it's going to bring problems.
Okay.
Because when, let's say, you have a problem with the person, right? And I say the two of you have to work together.
Yeah, so be a break, will be hot.
Yeah.
And after some boom.
You know.
It makes sense.
Yeah, so let's try to, you know, protect, you know, ourselves and protect our peace.
Wow.
Peace of mind.
Great.
Yeah.
Pabos, I have loved this interview. I'll say something, but let's get into the lighter part of the conversation. These are quick take questions. Don't think for too long. Just give me the answer. Okay. If you couldn't dance, of course, which you cannot, you couldn't do all the model stuff you do, brand advertising, artist management and all of that, what would you do?
I think I would have been, I didn't tell you, right? I'm a sports person.
Okay.
Yeah, I was captain in Presec for handball.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and even in KNUST. So I played in inter-colleges.
Wow.
I used to play basketball. I used to play a little bit of football.
Wow.
So maybe I would have become a sports guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
So in Cabana, you could do something.
You know, yeah. So maybe I would have become a sports person.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Great. Then again, Quabos, you're a very handsome guy. No, like, you know, beside the try, say you be nice guy.
Small.
Somebody when I start, you'll be model for
small. I did try small.
You're a solid guy. How do you manage girls? Because now you be celebrity. Something bare ID.
Yeah. So, you see, I told you, like, you know, if I was popular in college, then I mean, I would probably have been worse in college, right? But I've been intentional about protecting myself. You know, you don't even find me reading my comments. The comments on my posts. I don't even read.
Why?
No, because once I read, I might engage.
Wow.
It's bad. If you're a talent, I expect you to do that. Me, I'm not looking for any class. I'm not trying to be popular. So if you comment, I might like it, but I will not reply or this one. I'm not even checking my DMs. Wow. I'll check my DMs, but if it's just a hi, hello, or no, I'm not going to reply. Like, if the person goes straight to the point and says, okay, I need you to do this or I want to work with this, then I'm going to respond. Because once I respond, it's going to lead to, you know, and yeah. So I just intentionally try. Doesn't mean that I don't engage with certain people. I do, but, you know, I've been intentional about how to filter that.
Is there a fear or maybe I am quite...
You have a fear?
No, because I used to be a bad boy. I spoiled my body long as I did go on then.
So you change.
So yeah. So now I have to be I have boundaries. Yeah. You know, I can't be friends with just anybody.
Yeah.
And me, self, I don't be celebrity with that.
Yeah.
How much more?
So yeah, I'll be intentional about that. Like, I'll be very, very, very intentional about who I deal with and because I'm not gonna lie, there's people that come to my DMs and when I look at this, I'm like, hey, no. Wow. No way. This one, yeah.
Wow.
Make her just stay away. Yeah. Like, I see, there was a time, right? I was in college. Right? I don't think I've ever said this anyway. I was in college.
Tell me about it.
I was in college, right? And then somebody met me at a lounge. She's like, are you Quabos? I'm like, yeah. And then she said, can I kiss you?
Hey!
I'm sure this will be in your highlight.
If
I'm editing the video.
Charlie!
She's like, can I kiss you? I'm like, are you serious? Listen, I'm telling you, straightforward. This is when I was in college. So, I go fear you. You know, like, that's the way you move to me. I'll be afraid of you. So, yeah, I've just been intentional to stay away because, you know, it's better that way. You don't hear about anything about me in public, you know. Yeah. I don't think that people hear about... You don't hear about me in somebody. No, you won't hear about me. Because...
Quick one, Charlie, how do you distress your mental health? Very important. I mean, you go through a certain phase. How you distress?
Once in a while, I hang out with my friends. I have a small circle. I hang out with my friends. Go and sit somewhere, talk, have a drink. I used to play FIFA. You play FIFA?
Yeah, it's been a while, Charlie.
Yeah, but now I can't anymore. Yeah, but that was one of them. I used to try and play FIFA.
Wow.
Gym. I try and go to the gym from time to time. That's another way I distress. Yeah. Basically, I'll probably try and watch a movie.
Or travel. I mean, now you
travel. Travel. Yeah, that's another way. Change of environment is very important to me because I get very creative when I'm in a different space. You know, so I go and come back with different energy.
Solid. Yeah. My last question. I say I've realized that on a lot of your posts, you really did talk about God. In fact, your first pin post, that's what the track they play.
Yeah.
Like, I've noticed that you're quite loud about God.
Yes.
Why? I mean, you go for be, you know, why you for be loud about God, like Charlie?
So, you know, God has been so good to me. I know how I started. I know where I was from. You know, I know my beginning and I know where I am now. There's one, I think I've said a lot on this podcast that I've not said. There was a time, right? a very low moment in my life, right? And I was in college and I went to church. I think I'd come for vacation. And I was in a different hostel. Let's say I'd paid for or 7, but I'd changed with somebody.
Okay.
Can we switch rooms? So I changed with somebody. And then my pastor gave a prophecy, right? And he said, is there anybody that's in this church that's in Brunei? That's not my hostel. Nobody knew I was there.
Yeah.
So I knew this one day is for me. Is there anybody that's in Brunei? This one. And he mentioned my name, Quabbles. Bear in mind, nobody in the church knows me as Quabbles. They know me as Ernest.
Yes.
You know, so I knew this one was for me. And the prophecy that he gave, right? And that is what I'm living right now.
Wow.
Because he said, right? I was growing so tall and I was trying to get out of a door. Before I had to bend to be able to come out of that door. And that's how tall I was growing.
Wow.
And, you know, so, and I've received a couple of prophecies like that, you know, so I know that whatever is happening right now is not by my strength. You understand? I know it's not by my strength. It's all God. Wow. He's using me. You understand? Because I don't know how I even find myself in this space. You know, I could have done so many things. There's so many things that I could have done. But the way I feel about helping people and the way I love people and the way, you know, I want to see somebody do so well. If I'm the one that's even be like, you know, being successful, I'm not so excited as compared to when somebody else is. So I feel like I'm being used to do whatever I'm doing. So anytime I sit down and reflect on how far I've come in, you know, I just see it as it's just the grace of God. The grace is transcending from me to all of the other people that I manage. I tell my people in the academy that everybody here is so important because the person that has somebody probably is the least person that anybody pays attention to. That person has some grace that's probably carrying this academy and you probably don't know. You that you're the most popular and everything, you think it's probably not yours. So it is somebody else's grace that's probably holding us down or that's holding this team. So everybody is important. I know I carry some form of grace. So it's transcending to other people. Every other person also has some kind of grace. And we all, you know, so it's all God. It's not by my might.
I love this. And I'm so happy. And I just want to tell you that, no, sincerely, Charlie, I really depend to you. For let me speak in English so that everybody I have high respect for you.
Yeah.
And what you have done, to be honest, I can't do it. I mean, you've done so well with now it moves just beyond your life, your personal feelings to other people's lives as well. And the whole fact that you trash your dreams, because then this is not what you want to do. No. This wasn't what you wanted to do.
At all.
To now build other people, I think that's a very great thing that if we live our lives for others, it makes the world a very beautiful place. Yeah. And your work ethic is crazy. They learn from you past. This conversation, I can promise you, is for me.
Yeah.
It's to change my mindset. It's to move me from talking and to cooking.
Yeah.
And so, Charlie,
you're already the cook.
Charlie, sincerely, I'm grateful.
Yeah.
And thank you. For the record, Pablos remains the first guest to reach out to the first big guest. Probably I'm proud. The first big guest to reach out and say that,
let's cook.
I want to be here, let's cook, and making the time. And I mean, I think I like the vulnerability, the integrity, and sharing all of this with us. Charlie, I'm very grateful.
It is so.
I'm proud and I'm excited.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. And I love the podcast. And I just want to see it, grow and become, bigger than you can imagine.
Wow.
Because you just have to start. You just have to start. And I think you're doing a great job. So it's really going to go far.
Wow.
Yeah.
Charlie, thank you. The grace in the flow for me. People flow,
Amen.
Charlie.
Amen.
Guys, thank you so much. This has been a conversation with one of the trinity of DWP, Quabbles. And a Squabbler, top guy. This guy has done a lot for the dance community, change people's lives and destinies, change the trajectory of people's lives. And today he was very honest with that. You know that this conversation is rich. You know it. You just know it. And so don't keep it to yourself. Please share the conversation, share the link, share with a friend, comment, say something. Let Quabbles know that he's doing something great, And of course, our Joy News viewers, please subscribe to this content. Wherever you are, we're on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google Podcast. Talk no the quick rise. Charlie.
At all.
Charlie, we close. Charlie.
Thank you for having me.
Charlie.
Talk no the cook right.